Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know you guys are as ready as I am to get this tree decorated, so let's get started.
Hey guys, let's get started. I'm so excited. This is the tree that we'll be decorating. Oh, and don't forget to put on your very favorite Christmas movie and have a hot drink so that you can stay energized. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my tree topper, which I already pre-made off camera because it would take a little while. I can do a DIY video and show you guys exactly how to make that very, very simple bow topper. The burlap is a little, chunky, so that's the main thing, but a video would make it really, really easy for you guys. If you don't know how to make a bow, I use the same type of bow that Olivia from Olivia's Romantic Home channel makes on her channel, and she has tons of videos about bows. So if you're curious about that, go over there and check her out. So right now, the very first thing that I do is I start putting the ribbon on the tree. I've decided to use a burlap ribbon with a gorgeous blue and silver snowflake ribbon over the top. It really adds a lot of interest and color. And for our purposes, in this tree, my theme was going to be woodland glam. So that's why you also see those very cute little woodland creatures that I've been collecting for a couple of years. I have a polar bear, an owl, and a little baby deer. And I went ahead and attached those into the tree prior because I'd kind of been testing it out a couple of days in advance. So they are just attached on there with the greenery from the tree. So I take a branch and I wrap it around the foot or like the antler of the deer. The polar bear, actually, I put a ribbon on because he was so white that I was like, oh, I think he needs a pop of color. So I put a ribbon around his neck, and then I was able to take the branch and just attach it to the polar bear's ribbon and then attach him into the tree. So that's why they're on there first. I didn't catch a video. I wish I would have because it probably would have been really helpful, but womp womp. And guys, don't mind me. I am literally getting up and down off a chair. It was raining and it was nighttime when I was doing this, and I didn't want to go outside to get the ladder. In Texas, it's never very cold, but we got a cold front that went through, and it's been here for about 2 weeks now. So that's like the coldest that it gets here. But still, as a Texan, 46 degrees is just too much for me. So back to the ribbon. The way I'm doing the ribbon is called a waterfall technique. So you take the ribbon, you attach it at the top branch, and as you can see in this video, I'm just, again, using the branches themselves of my tree to attach the ribbon. So you pinch the ribbon, you attach it with the, you wind a branch around it basically, and then you create like a little poof. And then you pinch it again, and then you wrap a branch and you pinch. But instead of going straight down, I feel like that's too stuffy looking for me, which, don't get me wrong, I get that my tree is not everybody's cup of tea. It's very boutique. It's very color coordinated, and I know several people who just hate that. They love their funky wild trees, and I love them too. Speaking of funky wild, I also never get a real tree. Comment down below if you absolutely love a real tree and you wouldn't be caught dead with a fake tree. I can't use the real trees because I have an allergy to some sort of whatever the pine is. I don't know, they're firs or spruces, but there's one of them that I'm super allergic to, and every time I go into a house where somebody has a real tree, my eyes will be itching me, and I'll be watering in the wrong places. We don't want to do this. This is just gross. So in lieu of just being sick all winter, I got the fake tree, and I love it. I feel like it's way easier anyways. You don't have to water it. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, is this just right? And you can fluff your branches, and on a real tree, you can't use your branches to attach everything. You have to use like zip ties and pipe cleaners and all this stuff. And it just makes decorating a little more difficult. But that's okay if that's your style. If I wasn't allergic, I probably would have one every once in a while at least. But for me, just can't do it. Not gonna do it. But anyways, I'm not speeding this part up because I feel like it's really good and necessary to show you guys that ribbons aren't hard. I feel like people are intimidated by ribbon. And I've heard people say like, "Oh, I just can't get my ribbon right." It's not difficult. And honestly, if you do it just a little haphazardly too, it kind of gives it a fun look. So you'll notice one thing that I do with my ribbon, and I feel like this is a little bit of a cheater's hack, and you don't have to do this, is I cut them into about 4 to 6 foot pieces. You need quite a bit of ribbon to fill out a tree. My tree is 7.5 foot, and I went through, let's call it 25 feet of ribbon off the roll. And then for my burlap, I used the exact same amount, except for in the topper, I used more burlap. So I had just enough ribbon and burlap out of the 2 rolls that I bought that I was able to make my topper and fill out my tree. So it's an investment. And what's good is like this ribbon will last me several more years, as long as I package it up right, which I always do. I try to be really cautious with how I attach my, or how I roll back up my ribbon so that it doesn't get all flattened and, you know, become something that I have to throw away every single year. But like I was saying about this waterfall type of technique is that I like to go a little bit back and forth with it. So you'll see I kind of do it at an angle, a little bit diagonally. And the other thing I should mention with this tree is that since my tree is in a corner and there is no access to the back of it except for a window, like a window you can see, but I never have that window open. Like very rarely do I have the blinds open, except for at night. I'm planning on keeping the blinds open so that my family can see the lights from my window. But even then you won't be able to see the decorations, so it doesn't really matter. Also comment down below if you absolutely just hate when somebody doesn't do the back of their tree. I know there's strong opinions on these Christmas trees, guys. But I'm like, whatever. If I can't see it, it's like if a tree falls in the forest, did it make any sound? If I don't decorate my back of my tree, did I really not do it? But yeah, so I didn't do any of the back of my tree. Although I will say, if I did, I definitely have enough ornaments because I have done that in the past on a tree where like you definitely could see the back of it. I was really surprised this year that I didn't use all of my stuff. But again, it's because I'm only doing about maybe like 3/4 of the tree or 2/3 of the tree. So on the other side, of course, I'm just doing the exact same thing. I split it into 2 pieces so it's a little easier for me to work with. Sometimes it gets a little heavy on the top one and it pulls the branch down. So I just cut it in, like I said, 4 foot and 6 foot strips, and then attach the strips kind of to look like they pretty much are one continual piece, but the back and forth gives it interest, so I think that's still really fun. But yes, this is called a waterfall technique. If you want to see more videos on YouTube about how to do ribbon, or maybe like a close-up video, I'm sure they're out there. I actually first learned how to decorate a Christmas tree from several years ago. I mean, like about 8 years ago, I learned how to decorate a Christmas tree from a channel called, oh my gosh, is it Rebecca Robeson? Rebecca Robeson, I'm pretty sure. She is an amazing designer. And every year she does these like gorgeous themed trees that are so beautiful. And I absolutely love her. to me, she's the queen of like the Christmas decorating. She gets beautiful ornaments and it's always unique and it's such good ideas. So if you want to see how to properly decorate a very fancy tree, that is the way to do it. Watch her channel. It's awesome. So here I am just kind of finishing up the ribbon. And here I am going to finish up my topper. So I created a tail for my topper just to give it some bulk and a little bit more blue. So I was feeling like the burlap was really becoming the star, and I want my gorgeous ribbon to be the star and the burlap to be more of a filler. So I made some tails to also just kind of bulk up the top. All I did was I rolled in the corners of a strand of ribbon and then put it on there and pulled them out. The next thing that I always do once I got my ribbon on and my topper up is I go in with picks. So these are some picks that I created. I found a really cool pick that is a 4th of July pick on clearance at Walmart. So it was only $1 for this large bundle of glittered berries, and they were in silver and blue and red. So what's great is in my house I use the silver and the blue, and then in my bathroom I'm using the red. So I just pulled the red berries off and just kind of dismantled the pick by taking off each little stem. And then I'm picking that into the top to really bulk up, again, my topper and give my topper kind of a really pretty base that goes down into the ornaments on the tree. I feel like this is what is the big difference between a kind of basic tree and a tree that looks like wow, is the picks that you choose. I absolutely love them. They add so much texture. And to me, a good tree is one that has not only visual interest, but like textures and different finishes. So like I'll use glittered ornaments, I'll use matte ornaments, I'll use metallic ornaments. And it really does, like, it just changes the look of an entire tree by throwing in that texture. And these berry picks are giving texture. How many of you guys watch Christmas with the Cranks? That's my all-time favorite movie. Comment down below your very favorite Christmas movie. I would love to know. It's a close second to Grinch, but like the Jim Carrey Grinch. It is so funny. I also first of all, I love Christmas movies, so like I have a lot to choose from. But I also really love Fred Claus. It's so funny. To me, the best Christmas movie actors are Tim Allen and Vince Vaughn. If they're in the Christmas movie, I just know it's going to be good. So it's kind of hard to tell here, but I found these blue poinsettias at Dollar Tree, and they have these silver glittered centers. So that's what I'm putting up there, and then I'm finishing the berries around those poinsettias. And they really brought that blue factor that I wanted. I know this is like a very like woodlandy tree, and it's a very, don't get me wrong, this is my interpretation of woodland. Maybe Arctic woodland. I don't know where a polar bear, what woods a polar bear would be in, but Arctic woodland glam fun boutique tree. We have too many labels for this. But anyways, I really believe like the blue should be the star here and all the rest should be my supporting characters. So the gold and all the fun pieces, That is second to the fact that I want that blue to pop. And I have lots of different color blue ornaments, and I decided this year that I would only use, or try to only use, the royal blue with very little other blue in there. So I have lots of aqua, I have lots of like a silvery, icy looking blue, which are gorgeous. And then I have a lot of navy. But I decided that I would really try to stick to that royal blue color. And funnily enough, it's kind of hard to find. So a lot of these ornaments have been collected over, probably a 10-year span. So if you don't have all of this stuff to get yourself set up, really don't worry and don't feel like, oh my God, I have to have this or my tree won't look right. I absolutely think that if I would have just fluffed up my beautiful flock tree, which I love, and just put like, maybe go and buy the big package of like 20 ornaments. I think they sell them at Walmart for like $10, and you can get them in whatever color they have there. But go get the colorful balls, put just colorful balls. Go to Dollar Tree, buy the $1 pack of the snowflakes, and put the snowflakes in the middle. Wrap a string of ribbon. It would look gorgeous and so simple, and probably, realistically $30 to decorate your tree. It's not hard. Also, if you just put up a tree with lights, that's fun too, because then at least you get the lights at night. So don't overthink it. Christmas can be so commercialized, and it can be a problem, but I think just have fun. Do it the way you like it. If it's all full of homemade natural ornaments too, then that's just as good. I just love Christmas, and I think however you enjoy seeing it is what matters, So here I'm showing you that gold glittered pick. That's the next thing that I'm putting in the tree. I have a lot of these. I got them on sale at Walmart one year. And they fill in what I call dead spots. So this tree that I have is really nice. It's really new. I never spent very much money on a Christmas tree. The Christmas tree I had before that, I had bought at Dollar General for $35. So, this was like a big splurge that my husband bought me. He actually got it for me for my Christmas present about 3 years ago. And it was such a sweet gift. So there's not a lot of dead spots, but wherever I want texture, I put it in. Or if like I had a place where I didn't fluff all the way, which fluffing is the key to a good tree. I just stick that in the hole and it fills it out so you don't see any daylight through your tree. That's a really big key to having a really fancy, well done tree. It's not, like I said, it's not something you have to do, but it definitely makes it look more finished. And I loved it's like not quite a brassy dark yellow gold. It's almost like a champagne gold. And it's little eucalyptus stems. And I actually think that they would be really pretty if you had a vase and just stuck them in. I also love to stick them behind like a picture or something, like if I was having like a little vignette and I needed to put something, just a pop of that, you just stick that right in and it looks gorgeous. So these are a great buy, but they can be used for a lot of different things. And here I'm showing you my next several picks. So I only have a few of these. What I decided to do was kind of place them around my animals to make the animals pop more. And so it's a large stem eucalyptus in like a champagne gold color. And then the little branches. I found these one year and I think I found them at Dollar Tree, but I can't find them anymore, and they're my very favorite. They look like little frosted, icy branches, and they're just so delicate and beautiful. But look at the way when you put them into the tree, they puff out. They look so natural. I love those and I cannot find them. It's driving me crazy every time I go around Christmas time to a dollar store, because I know that's where I would have bought it from, was like Dollar Tree or maybe Walmart, but I don't think that's where I got it. But I always look for them because I really want to find them again. Next, I'm going to be putting in my large ornaments. So I buy these again at Dollar Tree. Every year I pick up one or two, and then eventually I'll have like a big tree full of these. But for now, I only have about 6 or 7 of these. And I buy them in different textures. This is again where texture comes into play. So you can see the one that I'm putting in is a matte gold. And it's gorgeous. It really looks good in the daytime. That's a daytime Christmas bulb. And it looks so nice, just kind of set into the tree. As you can see, like at the top of the tree, since it's so skinny, it's a little harder to get it hung on a actual branch. So I'm kind of just like getting it into the branch, twisting the branch and pushing it into the tree so that the tree holds it. If you have kids or like animals who are going to really be in, my cat never bothers my tree. And my dogs would never bother my tree either, for that matter. But I know like my niece and nephew have like taken and rearranged ornaments for me before. You might want to keep the ones that are just a little, you might want to really attach it well, is what I'm getting at, if you have that concern. But for me, it's a pretty empty house over here, so not a big deal. And I also put in one that had like, it was more metallic, very shiny, and it has like a swirl pattern. And then the last variation I have is one that's completely glittered in gold. But what I really like about this is that it creates big pops of gold color, and it helps to offset the blue. So we had a lot of blue, but you need that gold. So even in the color, like in the color wheel, in the color chart, there's certain colors that are, complementary. So blue and yellow. Now, if I got a royal blue and I got a gold, that's going to complement each other really, really well. And then the silver just really pops. So you get a lot of shimmer, you get a lot of shine. And I really love that. The next items that we're going to be putting in are these gorgeous poinsettia clips. I've been collecting these for several years as well. And if I ever find a couple, I just throw them in my basket. These I do know I got from Walmart. And I love the metallic blue. It's so pretty. And it's actually kind of like a little bit darker than a royal blue. And it has almost like a slightly iridescent leaf. It's so gorgeous on the tree and adds in that big pop of color again. And the second one is probably my favorite. Now, it's the only light blue I'm doing on my tree this year. And I knew I was going to do it, even though I want everything to be mostly royal blue. But it's not like a baby blue, and it's not a turquoise. There's no green in this blue. That's kind of the key, is if you have a turquoise, an aqua, like an icy blue, like those are not the colors that I'm doing this year. Nothing in the teal family at all. So with this kind of I would almost think it's like a cornflower blue. Is that the right color? Comment down below if you know the exact color, because I want to have it right. But this is just so pretty. And I was like, no, I really think it's still going to be okay. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm kind of going, okay, so if I have a light one here, I'm going to do a darker one below. Or if I have a darker one high, I'm going to do a lighter one below. That's the key for me when I'm placing all this stuff, is to balance it out. So even the ornaments, if you can see, they're done one in the center at the top, one to the right and then one to the left, a little lower. So that's kind of how I do the ornaments, is I think of them in 2s and 3s and offsetting. And here I'm starting to put in my smaller ornaments. So these are just regular size Christmas balls. Again, I get them at like Dollar General, somewhere really inexpensive, and then you just tie them. I don't like the ties that come with ornaments. They're usually too flimsy and they kind of don't knot well. So I usually pull those off and use twine. So that's what I've done here. I think the twine looks good in the tree and it really goes kind of unnoticed almost.
Be kind to one another and don't give in to fear. That's all that I am asking for Christmas time this year. We've had enough of fighting and dying in the streets. For Christmas I just want a little peace. Be blind to one another. Differences are small. We all have got a cross to bear. We all have got our faults. For once when we're affronted, can we turn the other cheek? For Christmas I just want a little peace. And if the fates should bless us with a moment of reprieve, we all could stand together in the silence and just breathe. Rejoice for all the happiness, mourn for all the grief. It's all.
And the next color is, of course, we're going to throw in some more blue. I love these glittered ones. Again, they catch the light just right. And what's kind of good is that my tree has plenty of lights. Don't get me wrong, plenty. But I would love to get one of those trees that has tons of those little micro lights because they just look amazing. It looks like every branch has lights all over it. But when you add in a glittered or a very metallic ornament, you actually kind of it makes it look like there's more lights because the light is reflecting off that ornament. So you get the light from the light and then the light that's reflected off the ornament, or the light that's reflected off the glitter. So it takes something with 300 lights and makes it look like it could have, 500 lights depending on how many ornaments that you put on. And here I have these really fun blue Christmas bulbs. These are sold at Dollar Tree and they sell them in different Christmas colors. I also would love to get the gold ones because I think those would add a lot of interest into the tree. So at this point, I'm starting to put in some more interesting ornaments. So far everything has been just Christmas balls and ribbon and picks. Now we're starting to add in some interesting things because while I love a theme tree, I also really like to have the ornaments that I like. So I try to kind of mix the things that I like as long as they're in the right colors. So in this case, these blue vintage looking Christmas balls with the sequins are so me, and I absolutely loved them. And so that's the first kind of, maybe it doesn't match, but it still matches because it's in the right color ornament.
Blind to one another, the differences are small. We all have got a cross to bear. We all have got our faults. For once when we're affronted, can we turn the other cheek? For Christmas I just want a little peace. And if the fates should bless bless us with a moment of reprieve. We all could stand together in the silence and just breathe. Rejoice for all the happiness, mourn for all the grief. It's all that I am asking for this lonely Christmas Eve. Let's shine on one another the light that we have saved. So jealously we've guarded for the coming rainy days. If only for a moment we can make the darkness cease. For Christmas I just want a little peace. For Christmas.
So here I'm just using styrofoam balls because when I backed away from the tree, I looked at it and I saw the spots of white where my woodland animals were, and I realized I didn't have any white to kind of help balance that out. So these styrofoam balls, you can get them in the craft section at any store. And they're just basically the size of a Christmas ball, and I'm just putting those into the tree to add just a little pop of that white brightness. So I don't think I had to do this, but when I stepped back, I was like, I think I'd like a little bit of like Christmassy snowball look. So that's what you're seeing me do there. And again, I'm just taking that and setting that into the tree wherever I feel like, ooh, this could use a little pop of white. And it also shows you that you don't have to use what is traditionally a Christmas item. You can take things and just put them in the tree, and as long as they look really good to your eye, then that's all that matters. The next items that I'm putting into the tree are these really cool blue glittered snowflakes. And again, these come in packages at I think this was bought at Walmart. So this was just a package of, I think, 6. So buy 3 or 4 of them for $1. And then they add in a lot of texture, but also a pop of that blue color that, again, I want to be center stage in this tree. So I'm able to just set them next to things in the tree without hanging. And that's really nice because if you don't have, like, let's say you have a little bit skimpier of a tree that doesn't have as many branches, you're still able to get those colors in there without having branches to hang things on. And you'll notice that it's taking me a little bit longer to decide where I need the color and where I want to place each thing. As more and more things get put into the tree, you have less and less space to fill. So you have to really think about where do I want to put this and what I'm going to put next so I don't lose the ability to see the things that I really want. move on to the next thing, I lost the footage of me placing these icicles. So here's the next things that we're going to be putting on the tree. These are the fun items that I've been buying that I love. These are my personal ornaments. I guess they all are, but these are the ones that I've just picked up over the years and loved. I have several little clips of birds and butterflies because I love those for a tree, because to me, a woodland natural tree that I love is going to have birds or a butterfly or a bug on it. So I also have really cool items that are like, I have a whale shark that I love, and so he's blue, and I always set him in the tree, even though it doesn't match the theme of the tree, because he has the right colors. You would never even know. And then when somebody comes to look at the tree, they're like, oh my gosh, is that a whale shark? How cute. Or if they're like not expecting a butterfly for Christmas, they're like, what a beautiful butterfly. It's all these like really interesting things that keep people interested in your tree and give you something to look at. It's almost like one of those books that you used to get when you were a kid, the I Spy books, and everything would be in the same colors, but they would be like, can you find the dinosaur or the penguin or whatever? It feels the same way to me because everything's in the same colors, but it's all these eclectic mix of items and pieces. So just have fun with it. And you know what? Throw the rule books out. If you hate this, I don't know why you're watching, but do it the way you love to do it. And I was telling you I lost the footage of putting the icicles on, but I will say that the icicles, I always try to set at the ends of the branches that stick out the most, because in nature, that's where an icicle would hang, right? On the edge of something. So on the edges of the branches that sit the longest or stick the longest out, that's where I'll put the icicle so that it dangles. I try not to have ornaments that, like, especially like the fun ones, that sit too far into the tree and don't get to dangle, because that again brings a lot of the life to the tree. Is if I had the fan going, or if somebody, you know, because my house is a tiny house, but if somebody walks by, maybe the ground kind of moves a little bit, you can see the ornaments jiggle just a little bit, and I kind of love that. So you can see I'm kind of debating how I'm putting them, where do I want them to go. This is really the most important part of the tree, is really trying to get that balance right. So take a step back, walk to one side of the room, walk to the other side of the room, and see, where do I need this color to be? Where do I need some texture to be? So you can get a really good balance. Like, I think that adding the gold up there closer to the blue at the topper, like I did here, was a really great way to keep that color going upwards. So I have no gold in my topper, but by throwing that little butterfly there, it looks like it's part of that area. So it really does help to take a step back, look. I even have been known to take a picture of what I'm working on and then go back and see, well, what did it look like in photographs? So that's just a tip for you. And here we go. This is the tree, guys. Doesn't it look gorgeous? Oh, lights on, lights off.
Okay, well, I definitely look a little worse for the wear, but we have finished the tree. I'm going to turn you guys around so you can get a good look at it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.